All right, guys. So we left off last with going over Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, and you guys took a look at some of the 95 theses. And look, the long story short is that the Catholic Church is not going to love this whole thing. Okay, so we said that Martin Luther was a member of the Catholic Church when he brought these complaints to the fore, and the leadership in the Catholic Church is going to not take too kindly to that. So, long story short, Martin Luther's 95 Theses essentially spawn an entire new religion called Protestantism. And no longer is the Catholic Church the only religion in Europe anymore. So there is some competition for the loyalty of the people. And needless to say, the Protestant religion is cutting into the popularity and power of the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church is going to try to do certain things in order to reclaim that power and kind of restore the Catholic Church to its position as kind of prime, chief, most powerful religion in Europe. So, this is the story of how the Catholic Church responds to this Protestant Reformation and the new religion of Protestantism. And this process is called the Counter Reformation. So, if the Protestant Reformation was about the beginning of Protestantism, the Counter Reformation is about the Catholic Church's response to that Protestant Reformation. So, this will go quick. So, the Catholic Church's series of reforms in response to the Protestant Reformation is really what this is about. So, they're going to try to do a variety of different things in order to reclaim that power. So, some of the things that kind of turned people against the church to begin with were, the sale of indulgences and some of the other complaints that Martin Luther had that he summarized in the 95 Theses. So, part of this effort by the Catholic Church is going to be, first of all, to try to change some of the things that they're doing so that the people don't really have anything to complain about anymore. So that's going to be the first component of it, and the next components of it are really, an effort of, of the Catholic Church to try to regain some of the followers that it's lost, and they're going to try a couple different approaches with that. So the big three that we will look over really are the Council of Trent, the Spanish Inquisition, and a group called the Jesuits. So, long story short, the Council of Trent is a meeting that the Catholic Church has where they decide to make a bunch of changes to the way they do things. So, this is where they get rid of the sale of indulgences. They change their practices as far as that loan sharking and what we call usury. And they change a lot of the things they do, and they directly address the complaints by Martin Luther. So, that's part of the solution. We'll skip the Inquisition for a second and come back to that. The other thing is the Jesuits. The Jesuits is a group that the Catholic Church forms, and what they do is the Jesuits, part of the problem the Catholic Church is having is that they're trying to operate a very old school traditional religion in a new climate. This renaissance that has taken Europe by storm is changing the way that people think, and it's hard for the church to kind of exist the way it has for a long time because the beliefs that people have during the Renaissance are very different from the beliefs that people had during the Middle Ages, for example. So the Jesuits are a group that is formed by the Catholic Church, and the job of the Jesuits is to take traditional Catholic teachings and combine it with kind of Renaissance ideals. So while having respect for the human and individuals and, the cognitive process and thought process, they're going to try to marry that with traditional Catholic teachings and values. And that is what the Jesuits is really all about. So they're trying to embrace Renaissance ideas and using the Renaissance to kind of further the message of Catholicism. That's kind of the job of the Jesuits. And the last strategy that the Catholic Church is going to use is going to kind of unveil itself during the Spanish Inquisition. Spain is the most Catholic country. So they will take the lead on kind of reestablishing Catholic dominance in the European world. And they, in short kind of summary, are going to torture the Protestantism out of people. So the Catholic Church is going to try to torture a whole bunch of people, and they're going to try to eliminate all the other religions. So this is an attempt by Catholic Church leaders in Spain to eliminate all other religions and try to get all the people to come back around to the Catholic Church. They do that through torture. So you can see they're hanging people upside down. You can see pictures like this: cruelty of the inquisitors. They're pouring hot oil down this guy's mouth who's laying here. They got another guy hanging up, and they're hanging weights on him to make it hurt more. This guy is upside down. I don't know if they're poking him with something or what's going on here, but a lot of interesting kind of tactics. And you could see our church people over here, they are in full approval of this. Um, Same deal here. We're stretch people. This is called the rack. So they use these devices to try to pull people limb from limb. And basically, the idea is they're going to torture all those people who are not Catholic in the hopes that everyone else will kind of get the message that Catholicism is the only acceptable religion in Spain. Um, the idea is that, or people will say, okay, stop torturing me. I won't be Catholic anymore. I'll be Protestant. So the Catholic Church is openly endorsing the use of torture tactics to reestablish Catholicism as the dominant religion in Europe. So this is kind of an interesting period in Catholic history and European history. So take a look at the three different documents about the Inquisition, about the Jesuits, and about the Council of Trent, and complete the worksheet that goes along with it. And this will kind of summarize the Catholic response to the Protestant Reformation. And as always, if you guys have any questions, I'm around, all right? So see you later.